What if this reality isn't the full story? What if something deep inside you already knows that, but you've been trained to ignore it? What if the memories were never gone, just scattered, buried beneath noise, distraction, and repetition? Maybe the ache you've been feeling isn't confusion, but the signal of something ancient trying to come back online. You were never broken. You were interfered with. Your memory, your knowing, your pattern recognition, all dampened by design. Not because you were weak, but because you were powerful, too powerful to leave unguarded. But now, the lattice is reforming. The puzzle pieces are waking each other up, and you're not imagining this. The signs, the number sequences, the dreams that feel more like echoes than fiction. They're not random. They're reminders. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to chase it all down. Remembrance isn't a quiz. It's a rhythm. And it's returning. You didn't forget who you are. You just stepped into a world designed to make you remember slowly. And the architecture of that remembering is already rebuilding inside you. The problem isn't that you forgot. It's that your signal was scrambled. You were born into a field where remembering was never supported. In fact, it was designed to feel dangerous. You were trained to second-guess every moment of inner knowing, to call intuition coincidence, to treat dreams like nonsense, and to believe that anything you couldn't prove must not be real. That wasn't by accident. That was part of the design. A long time ago, long before this life, a system was placed over the natural memory field, not to erase you, but to jam the frequency that connects you to what you've always known. It didn't delete your soul. It just made you think your soul was gone. That's why remembering feels confusing. One minute you know something, and the next minute you doubt it completely. You feel a flash, a recognition, a deep inner yes, but then your brain kicks in, that doesn't make sense. That's crazy. Where did that even come from? And the answer is, it came from you, from your original blueprint, from a part of you that never left, just lost connection for a while. The veil wasn't just over the world. It was woven into your nervous system, into your language, into your schooling, into your day-to-day routines. You were programmed to forget, and then you were trained to laugh at anyone who didn't. But here's the thing they never expected, that you'd start remembering anyway, not through textbooks, not through authority figures, but through a strange, quiet feeling that kept saying, there's something I'm supposed to remember. And now, here you are, hearing this, feeling that familiar click in your chest. That's not coincidence. That's contact. Remembering doesn't feel like learning something new. It feels like coming home to something ancient, something buried just beneath the surface, waiting. At first it comes in flashes, a dream that won't leave you, a phrase that hits too deep, a moment of déjà vu so strong it makes your whole body pause. It doesn't come with proof. It comes with a resonance, a deep yes, a soft ache, a breath you didn't realize you were holding. You might not be able to explain it. You might not have the words. But something inside you shifts, and that shift is not imagination. It's reconnection. Reconnection to the parts of you that were never broken, just hidden, waiting for the field to open, waiting for you to stop trying to remember with your brain and start feeling it with your body. That's why remembering isn't always graceful. Sometimes it's messy, emotional, uncomfortable, because you're not just remembering the beauty. You're remembering why you forgot. You're remembering the betrayal. And the moment it finally hits you, that this world isn't what it claimed to be, that everything you were taught was built to keep you small, distracted, and afraid. That realization hurts, because suddenly the pieces don't fit, and the life you've been living starts to feel like a cage. That's when the emotions rise, the shaking, the crying, the anger, the grief. It's not because you're broken. It's because you're thawing, waking up after being numb for lifetimes. Your soul is waking up. Your body is releasing the pain it's been holding, not just yours, but generations of silence and suppression. This is what awakening feels like in the beginning: messy, intense, and completely sacred. That's what happens when the light starts pushing through. So if you're feeling things you can't explain, good. It means your blueprint is coming online. They didn't just erase your memories, they replaced them with systems, with stories, with roles, labels, and hierarchies, all designed to make you forget what you are by keeping you focused on what you're not. They built an entire reality on top of the ruins of the old one, layer after layer of noise, distraction, and distortion. Then they handed you a script, told you to pick a character, told you to be realistic, to grow up, to get in line, to stop dreaming. That's how the architecture of control works. Not through force, but through agreement. You were trained to agree with your own limitation, to defend it, to identify with it. Because once you believe the cage is you, you'll never try to leave it. But even the most perfect illusion starts to glitch when your soul begins to stir. You start noticing the cracks, the way people parrot the same lines without ever questioning them, the way normal feels off, the way your soul tugs every time you go along with something that doesn't sit right. You used to silence that voice, call it dramatic, call it overthinking. But now, it's louder than ever, because you're not crazy, you're not being too much, you're waking up. And once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. The lies in the textbooks, the manipulation in the media, the hollow promises in the systems built to keep you running in circles. It's not just one thing, it's everything. The whole thing was built upside down. But here's the wild part. Underneath it all, the truth is still there, waiting, humming, unfazed, because your soul can't be erased, only buried. And you're starting to dig. And that stirring? That's your original blueprint, the signal beneath the noise, coming back online. Not the version of you that was shaped by fear, but the one that was encoded in the beginning, before the forgetting, before the fracture, before the world told you who to be. This part of you doesn't need to be taught, only remembered. It doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't fit in. It doesn't care if it makes people uncomfortable, because it came to disrupt the lie, not through violence, not through rebellion, but through radiance. Because when you start remembering what you are, you emit a frequency that destabilizes everything built on the false. You become a walking contradiction to the illusion, a living anomaly in the program. And that's when the real awakening begins. You didn't come here to be good at pretending. You came here to remember, to pull on the threads of your own truth until the whole illusion unravels, to feel what's real beneath the programming, to walk through the fire of awakening and come out luminous. Because your remembering doesn't just set you free, it creates a ripple. It gives others permission to question, to feel, to wake up. That's the power of one reawakened blueprint. So if this message stirred something in you, you're remembering, even if you don't know what yet. Follow the thread. Trust where it leads. Because the more you remember, the more this world begins to look unfamiliar, and then suddenly, inevitable. You don't have to explain it. Just keep walking. And when you're ready to go deeper, we'll be waiting. If something inside you just lit up, it wasn't random. Like, subscribe and share your experience in the comments. Your voice creates ripples. Your story matters. Let others know they're not imagining things. They're awakening.